Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're excited to talk about another new product for you guys, and that is a product for these carbon SS sticks from the Latitude Outdoors team. It is our aider keeper system to allow you to easily store your aider system very conveniently and neatly, so it's not a mess when you're trying to hunt in the woods this fall. Let's dive into it and talk a little bit more about the aider keeper system and why you might want to add it to your carbon SS sticks. So I ran these carbon SS sticks towards the end of last year a fair amount, and one thing I found is I found it very hard to figure out how to store my aiders on my sticks as I was trying to pack up or carry it out in the woods. It didn't have a clean system. I used Bund Easies. It worked out good for what it was trying to do, but at the same time it wasn't great. So I really liked the stick stack stow system that I had for these that allows me to stack these into one complete system. So if you haven't seen that, check out our video on that and check it out on our website. But I did want something to help store my aiders on my sticks. How I ran these sticks is I ran 3 sticks. My bottom stick, I ran an aider system like this Backwoods Mobile Gear system here, which is a 3-step aider. I just threw this in my backpack, and this would always go on the bottom stick that I had. So it's 3 steps here. You can kind of see it's a lot and whatnot, but it's a movable system, but I didn't really feel like I really needed it. I just needed it for my bottom stick, and then my next 2 sticks, I used the single step aider that Latitude Outdoors sells for these sticks. So with these fixed step aider system, they're just kind of a mess. If I didn't have this aider keeper system on here, it would just kind of be like this, and then I would wrap it up like this and like store it there, and then I would run like a bungee system just to kind of keep these on the stick. It worked, but it was just kind of a messy system, and it kind of made it hard for me to get into a rhythm when I started climbing consistently and going out of state for different hunts and having a complete system. So what the system is it's 2 pieces that bolt together and sandwich or have compression fit onto that stick. So I set this up on the top stick of my stacking system. So you can kind of see here, this is kind of like what the system will look like. So you kind of see let's get the aider out of the way so you can kind of see this a little bit better. That's the top piece with a bolt that runs through, and that's the bottom piece where there's a lock nut in there, and then this is the tab that you would basically have this bungee system hooked to, and then there's a pull tab on here that we 3D print to allow you to easily grab that and then just cinch it over there. So when you get this, they'll come in like a little baggie just like this. You're gonna get a few different pieces in there. So you're gonna get a bungee cord. This is 9 inches long. You will have to cut this depending on the aiders you use. I left it at 9 inches to give you the freedom to make it as long or as short as you want. So just know that it is probably gonna need to be cut if you use these single step aiders. But I made it long enough so you can use like these Amsteel 2-step aiders with the tubing on there. So this is gonna be a little bit thicker. If you use these on multiple sticks, you're gonna want a little bit longer of a bungee because you're gonna have to go around a bigger bundle of a system. So that's why this is 9 inches long. Next you're gonna have is your pull tab piece here. You're gonna have a flathead bolt or screw, and then you're gonna have 2 3D printed pieces. One piece is gonna be your top piece. You can kind of see that here. And there's little nubs here that will nest into the other piece when you push it together, just like that. And then the bottom piece is gonna have that locking tab retainer piece for the bungee, and then it's also going to have a lock nut inside of it that's recessed into it. So installing these, if I do this on this single stick here that I have, it's pretty easy. You're gonna take your top piece, you're gonna set that there, and then you're gonna take your bottom piece, and then you're gonna run the bolt. But before doing that, you're gonna wanna put your bungee on there. What I recommend is running your bungee through. You're gonna push it through this top hole, and then you're gonna see it's gonna have a larger hole that it's gonna go through right there. That's where you're gonna tie your knot, and your knot is actually gonna recess inside the 3D printed part. So you can push it through both holes, just like that. And I won't cut it for now, just to show you how long it is. So I'll tie the knot, just like that. You don't have to get crazy because you might have to adjust this depending on what kind of aiders you use. So don't really wrench down on this if you don't want to have an issue trying to get this untied. So just kind of snug those up and then just pull the knots through. Doesn't have to be completely down in the hole. And the reason why I say that is on the other piece, the bottom piece, there's also large holes for those knots to kind of sit inside of. So it doesn't have to be fully recessed. So like you'll look like that. So again, you're gonna put your top piece on, you're then gonna put your bottom piece on. Then you're gonna take your bolt, you're gonna drop it in there, and then you're going to take, I believe this is an 1/8 inch Allen head. So you're just gonna tighten this down, and what you'll see is they'll pull the two pieces together, and then you don't have to go crazy and really wrench down, you just gotta get it snug. And you'll see those two pieces where the seam is, it's gonna be completely like flush, and that's when you know this, you have the system fully on there. So then you're gonna put your pull tab on. It's super simple, you're just gonna push it through the hole, and then you're gonna go around the top or bigger part of the pull tab. If you go the other way, you'll see you'll run into an issue. But you just do that. Doesn't matter which way. If you go flip it upside down and have the G3, I have the G3D logo up. You can have it the other way if you want, but you can kind of see that's what it's gonna look like. And you'll see this is pretty loose here. And then again, that's for aiders that are gonna be similar to like this style. So I'll just put this on there so you can kind of see. It's gonna look like that. So this is going to stack, and then how I just kind of hand wrap these up. Doesn't have to be perfect. And then this bungee is gonna go down. It's going to hook on one side. I designed it so it's easy to hook. There's little locking features on there. So once you got it hooked on there, just like that, that's how the system looks. And this is still loose enough that if I wanted to run another set of this from my other stick, the stick below this, I still could do that if I wanted to. But so guys, that is the Aider Keeper system for these carbon SS sticks from Latitude Outdoors. Really like these sticks. Really like this system with the stick stack stow system. I feel like it really completes these sticks and allows you to have a really hunt ready system for this fall. So swing on over to our website if you're running the Aider systems from Latitude Outdoors, these single step aiders, or even any Amstel aider system for these sticks. I think it's a great way to just really clean this system up and really get this streamlined and ready to be a mobile hunting system. Swing on over to our website and always stay tuned to our channel, guys, because we have a lot of new products that are always dropping. So until next time, we'll talk to you guys later.